What's up, guys? Welcome back to El Merengue Cule. The Superliga of Europe is here. Possibly and arguably, every FIFA player's dream has come true. However, when you really come to analyze it and ask yourself, is this really what the world of soccer needs? Let's see. Okay guys, a lot of you have been commenting on our videos asking for us for the opinion on the Superliga, and I was taking a little bit of time to really get my thoughts down, analyze it in my own perspective, and really, give you guys my true opinion on what I think about it. My brother Ricky will be coming out with his own opinion later on, so this is a perfect opportunity for, if you're not subscribed to the channel, to hit the subscribe button to hear his opinion as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started talking a little more about the Superliga that has been created by, a little controversially, Real Madrid's president, Florentino Perez, who will be the head of this league. Now, in this video, I'm not going to go into the details of what the league is going to entail. All I will say is that there's potentially going to be 20 teams, 2 groups of 10. They would play out into a regular league, and then at the end, the top teams of each side of the league would go into like head-to-head. That's all I will say. If you want more information, then I'm sure you can find another video on YouTube that will provide you with the information on how it works. But in this video, we're only going to be analyzing what the pros and cons would be. And at the end, I guess, giving you my actual opinion on it. So let's start off with a pro. If this Superliga were to come together, one huge thing, and probably the main reason, one of the main reasons why all these clubs, which make up Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham Spurs, AC Milan, Juventus, and Inter Milan. Those are the 12 founding father clubs. I guess I got sidetracked. To begin with the actual pro, it would be that there would be a lot more attractive games. Now, these games would be played in midweek, so take the place of the Champions League. And yeah, basically every week we would have a really good game. What the worst game that we could potentially watch is AC Milan against Arsenal, which in that sense I would still love to watch that, obviously. So in that sense, it kind of creates a sense of a lot of entertainment, right? Fans, in a sense, are like, whoa, like I want to watch all these games. Usually in the Champions League, we do get to see a good amount of games, but that's normally towards the end of the season. This would be all season long, all year long, which sounds pretty fun. Now, I'm going to take now to a potential con of it. Because it would not be the Champions League format anymore, where you play, in the Champions League, you play, roughly 14 games, 15 if you make the final-ish. Well, now you would be playing, it's a whole other league. A whole 30 plus games. And we've been arguing this whole season that there's already an accumulation of games. Think about all the injuries that Real Madrid has had, all the injuries that Liverpool has had, Barcelona, all these other teams. Double that because there's double the games. I don't know if that would be really viable for the teams in Europe. Now we go back to another pro. And I think this is the main reason why these teams have come together to do this. And that is the economical revenue, the monetary revenue that they would make. Obviously, the contracts would be huge with a TV to show these games. And Real Madrid, Barcelona, all these teams would be making double, triple, quadruple the amount of money. I think I saw in some article that the starting, I guess, monetary gain that each team would get just for participating would be of 200 million euros, which is an unbelievable amount. And then if you went and won the league, it would be an additional 300 million. That could add up to 500 million. Plus, obviously, all the revenue that they make from ticket sales and whatnot. So, obviously, this would lead to a huge financial increase in the teams. But the question that I bring up to this is, what is the disparity that, these big teams, Real Madrid, Barcelona, all the others, would create by having so much money? All the other teams in the world would go to absolute crap. Not only, and that's already considering that the disparity is already there to begin with. I mean, when we started La Liga, we already know it's going to be Real Madrid, it's going to be Barcelona, or maybe Atletico Madrid that's going to win it. And the odds of all the other teams are super low. Now imagine if you give these teams an additional 300 million euros, the teams would be beyond stacked to the point where the national leagues may be dead already, which is what I want to transition on to the next con, which would be obviously the domestic league, La Liga, Premier League, Serie A. All of these leagues would be just dead. And I know the teams are saying that they would still participate in the domestic league, but there's also UEFA, FIFA, and all the domestic leagues saying that if this happens, they would kick Barcelona, Madrid, and all these teams out. The leagues would die. No one would want to watch the Premier League, the Serie A, La Liga anymore if you don't have the main teams. It wouldn't work. It doesn't work. Additionally, another con that I wanna bring up is the fact that you have all these teams from so many countries that, because of the Champions League, I think of Russian countries, think of countries from Norway, countries from Greece, I don't know, all these different countries that have good teams, but teams that are not good enough to be in the Super League. What would that do to all the fans? Like the illusion, the passion that they have to know that next season they could potentially have Barcelona, they could have Messi come to their stadium, they could have Ronaldo go to their stadium, Mbappe, all that passion, it would be taken away from them. So in that sense, it's really sad for the lower teams. Of course, the lower team, like if you're a fan for a team that's like mid-table, you do not want this to happen, because at that point, all the passion is gone. So like in that sense, it's really sad if this were to happen. Another negative that I want to give out, and obviously it's starting to get a little one-sided heavy, is the fact that sure, maybe the first season or two, these big teams would absolutely love the amount of revenue they're making, but then the moment reality hits and you realize that there's going to be teams, huge teams, finishing in second to last place of a league. Like imagine if us Real Madrid or Barcelona fans were having to deal with Barcelona or Real Madrid being in like fighting for relegation in this league, or like, just being dead last because we are having a horrible season. Think of how that would impact us, like in our morale. Like, would we really be as motivated to watch these games? Think about it. Maybe you're having a really bad season. You lose 5-0 to Manchester City. And then next up you have, I don't know, Liverpool coming up. A Liverpool that's maybe like having a really good season. And they beat you 4-0. Like that, the accumulation of results would just be like, damn, like screw this. I mean, AC Milan, Arsenal, who are still clubs that are rebuilding. Obviously they have big histories, but they're still rebuilding. They could potentially be getting 3-0s, 4-0s, 5-0s every week. That would get really frustrating as a fan. I don't know if I would want that. So I don't know. I mean, that's something that I thought was a pretty big a factor. Now let's go ahead back to the other side of the coin. Another pro of the Super League would be the fact that the clubs that are actually in charge of paying the players and doing all the heavy lifting. The players themselves are the ones that actually provide the show. They would actually be getting paid more for their actual services. I kind of want to bring up this question. What does FIFA actually do? What does UEFA actually do other than organize the tournament and end up getting all the revenue, the majority of the profits, and then just pay the clubs, a certain amount? But in the end, FIFA and UEFA are earning the grand amount of the earnings. So by creating the Super League that is headed by the clubs, who gets the majority of the money that they are creating? Well, the clubs do. So in that sense, I can see why these clubs came together to form this league, because they're like, we're being robbed of so much money that we're generating. So, that's one aspect of it that's very true for the side of the Super League and why they would want that to happen. Like I said, there's many different sides of the coin, and so that's why I'm trying to bring up all different sides for you guys to formulate your own opinion that I'm obviously going to want to hear in the comments down below, because guys, this is potentially a turning point in the history of football, of soccer, whatever you want to call it. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Another thing, how would the most beloved tournament for the majority of us in this account, what would happen to the Champions League? The Champions League, the league that every time the anthem plays literally gives us goosebumps. That would be gone. And I don't know if the Superliga could match the feeling that's generated. Maybe the quality and the caliber of games would be better, but at the same time, the Champions League just has a certain magic to it, right? That I don't know if the Superliga would be able to match. So that's a really potential sad outcome that could happen if this Superliga does go through. I don't know. Lastly, the last thing I want to talk about is international soccer. Obviously, FIFA has gone out there saying that if the Superliga goes through, they will ban every player from these clubs to play in international tournaments, the World Cup, Euros, South American tournaments, everything, which would obviously suck. And in a sense, these clubs could counter argue and say, if you don't have our players, what is your World Cup? Who's gonna want to watch your World Cup if you don't see Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo, all these players? If they're not going, then also the fans are going to be like, well, this isn't as interesting. So in a sense, like, the clubs have a little bit of leverage in that aspect of it. But at the same time, if this actually were to go through and FIFA actually bans these players from playing, we lose out on potentially one of the biggest tournament there is, which is the World Cup. Now, sure, maybe these teams could come up with their own World Cup, and that would be equally as insane. But I'm a person that loves tradition. I love the continuity thing, seeing the history progress, but like keeping that constant history. And this is just kind of goes down to my personality. Change is sometimes a little scary for me. I am not always open to change, and sometimes change is good. But in this scenario, I don't know if change is what we want. I don't know if change is what would actually bring good. I mean, the smaller clubs are coming out of COVID. The revenues would just go down for them. Yeah, the revenues for these big clubs would go up, but football is a culture, is something that brings everyone together. And in my opinion, the Superliga is really exclusive, and all these other clubs just lose the dreams of someday playing against the biggest teams in Europe. So anyways, I don't want to make this video too long, guys. I wanted to give my opinions. I think you can pretty much infer my stance on the Superliga. So like I said, let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are. I'm really curious. If you've reached this far into the video, make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new to the account. And while I'm at it, I'll just go ahead and plug all of our other videos. Make sure you go check out our live reactions and analyses. But with that being said, I'll see you guys on Wednesday, because that's when Real Madrid will be playing. So for now, peace out.